Alrighty, so I'm going to be talking about Ultraman Rising, new Netflix produced Ultraman movie. And I've got some notes here that I'll kind of bounce off of, but this movie, and I'm not going to try to do anything spoilers just based off like what they've already showed you in the trailer and stuff, but so two things. When this trailer came out, I thought it looked really childish, like it was going to be for children. I was wrong. It definitely has adult, I wouldn't say adult content, but themes and tones where it's dealing with, parenting, family, feelings of abandonment, things like that. And so truly, I feel like anybody can watch this movie, whether you're an adult or a child. I think you'll appreciate it more as an adult, just because of the relationship of the son and the dad. But the second thing is, for me personally, I grew up with Ultraman. I had Ultraman figures. I loved anything Ultraman content, kaiju content, stuff like that. Shin Ultraman. I really liked Shin Ultraman, and I like the fact that for this like property IP, you could have a Shin Ultraman, and then you can have Ultraman Rising. You can have Shin Ultraman that's very, I feel like, very serious, very bleak, and is definitely geared more towards adults, 100%. And then on the other hand, you can have Ultraman Rising, which is more for everybody. And there's even the Netflix anime Ultraman, which is probably for more young adults. I mean, maybe it could be for adults. I haven't watched it yet. I just don't care for the disgusting CGI Netflix shit. But going into this movie, having finally just watched the movie, which came out 2 days ago, but the art style is badass. I love it. Honestly, when I first started watching the movie, I was like, this kind of reminds me of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but also like Kubo and the Two Strings, even a little bit of Big Hero 6. And I believe from what I saw, one of the writers on Ultraman Rising was actually one of the writers from Kubo and the Two Strings, because story-wise, I feel like there's a lot of similarities. Not that that's a bad thing, but I was like, oh, as I'm watching the movie, I was thinking, this reminds me of Kubo and the Two Strings. And then, bam, I see that the guy wrote both. And also the director for this, first name Shannon, I can't remember his last name. This is his directorial debut. Tommy did a good job. For a first-time movie, apparently he had the idea since 2016 or something, where the idea is, basically how, I think he said the idea was a man has to raise his enemy's child. Where you're like, oh, that's interesting. Because that's what I was telling my wife, because my wife was like, is this a common thing in Ultraman? And as far as I remember, I don't recall anything like Ultraman taking care of a baby or anything. For the most part, the kaiju are labeled as bad, and so Ultraman has to beat the shit out of them. I haven't watched the show since I was a little kid, so I don't remember everything to detail. So don't try to, armchair Reddit, lore me on Ultraman. I just remember Ultraman obviously fighting the enemies, but this movie did an interesting thing where you're viewing the kaiju as they're just animals. It's not like they're necessarily malicious, and there's a hidden kaiju island that they keep talking about but they can't find where the kaiju come from. And so the main kaiju you see in the movie, Gigantron, you do kind of get the vibe that it's basically just an animal. It's not, an alien created thing that's, under control to kill people. It's not sentient enough to be like world domination. But I didn't mind it. I didn't mind that they were trying to sympathize. Yeah. have sympathy for the kaiju. And the main bad guy of the movie, you'll instantly recognize his voice. I can't remember what I know him from besides the 2011 game Rage. He's the shopkeep in the like Watertown, whatever. Well, something. He's like the shopkeep with the big hat. And I instantly was like, I know that guy. I feel like I know that he voices other things, but I can't remember what. He's in Crank as well. But yeah, that was the only really guy I recognized. But I will say also the voice acting, because I didn't recognize the guy that voices the main character, Ken. But God, homie does a good job. He does a really, really good job. I was shocked. You know, when you sit there and think like, I believe the emotions that I'm hearing. They're standing there in a, in a studio, whatever, with a microphone, and they're, you're able to emote, basically. You're able to pull out these emotional words, and for it to hit as hard as it did in the movie, because the movie has many, many emotional parts, so they did a wonderful job. The dad actor, voice actor did a good job. I mean, they're all, and I'll say, yeah, going back to the main villain of the movie, they don't focus on him too much, but they focus on him enough. When you start learning of his motivations and why he's doing what he's doing, you definitely understand him. Is what he's doing right? No, but because even that, I say no, but you can fully understand his point. When you understand why he's doing what he's doing and what he wants to do, you kind of go, well, I feel like in almost every case, in every kaiju movie I've seen, that's actually, you'd be rooting for that. So it's an interesting take. And I feel like I can't say enough good things about it, because it didn't feel like, wanted to be one thing or the other and they couldn't get the tone right. No, the tone was set where it was never too dark, but just emotional enough where you're like, wow. Because there's one part where I was kind of shocked, like, oh God, that's painful. And seeing the character of Ken grow, because it's not just like, oh, the movie takes place in a week and he's magically a different person. No, the movie takes place through a span of what I think is like 6 months, 7 months. So homie really has the time to grow as a person, because it's like his mom is missing. They don't know where the mom is. He basically hasn't seen his dad in 20 years, and he's upset that with his dad that the dad basically hasn't been there. And the son is successful. He's a good baseball player in America, but he's called back to Japan and joins a Japanese baseball team and has to deal with that, and then deal with the kaiju baby, dealing with being Ultraman, dealing with personal stuff like relationship with his dad, and all of it just feels like real, like real emotions. And they don't do it where, oh my God, we can't, we can't juggle all these things, and so we focus more on this storyline or that storyline. Like, they do everything so perfectly, like this scene, boom, end of the movie. And I will say the last fight scene in the movie is awesome. The art style really shines there, and God, I almost wanted to just rewind it and watch it again, because God, it was good. But yeah, that's going to be about it, because it's just going to be me constantly saying this movie's great. But seriously, it's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's so damn good. And I feel like they definitely released it right before Father's Day on purpose, because it is a very like father and child movie, like a parental child movie. I don't even have kids, and the movie, like, I could resonate with the movie. So I highly recommend everybody go watch it. and let me know what you think, obviously, in the comments. I'd be curious to maybe do like a more in-depth spoiler review, but that's only if people want. But yeah, I guess for now that's going to be it. I'm out. Thank you for watching.